afternoon and good evening to all of my combo fans out there. It's me, your captain speaking. If you give me just one moment, I'm going to let you and everybody else know that this stream is happening right now. I'll be right back. Hello, everybody. I am welcoming you to another Thursday night stream, and we're going to be cascading into some pretty dumb creatures today. And by dumb, I kind of mean just like dummy thick. We got Emrakul, we got Apex Devastator, Maelstrom Wanderer, Trumpeting Carnosaur. These are the tools with which we will win the game. This is Mississippi River, also known as Creative Technique. We are speeding it up. This is a common change in Mississippi River tech, if you're watching it, where the previous deck that just had all of the 5 and 6 mana Cascade creatures, you really couldn't do anything until turn 3, and if you didn't have an untapped soul land on turn 3, then you were only comboing out on turn 4. This deck kind of eschews some of the consistency, so it's a little bit more inconsistent, for speed. We are playing Violent Outburst and Throes of Chaos in addition to our Creative Technique to cascade into Tibalt's Trickery. And we'll talk about this when it actually goes on the stack a little bit more, but essentially I can counter a spell and replace it with something on top of the affected owner's library. So that's going to be us, because we're going to cascade into this and then counter our cascade spell, right? And we're going to then be able to cast Creative Technique, Trapani Carnosaur, Call Forth the Tempest, all of our big boys. All right, that's the idea here, and we're able to do that as early as turn 2, right? We have a 3-mana Cascader here and a 4-mana Cascader with Retrace, and we can do that as early as turn 4, so or as early as turn 2 with 4 mana. And you know, Bryant, we are playing Mindbreak Trap, but it's hidden in the corner. We're not going to talk about it. And hello, Newton. We are going to be doing what all of you voted to watch today. We're playing an upgraded, faster Mississippi River. It actually put up a few results in the top 32 of a recent challenge. It's been doing okay. And then it's obviously in leagues. I've been running into it actually somewhat frequently. So I'm already queued up for a league, and we're going to, you know what, Bryant, I also agree that this one looks a ton better than the old one. And I mean, this isn't even in the same stratosphere as the really, really crummy Yorion version that we played a few weeks ago. So we're definitely improving for sure. Let me get queued up into the league, or well, I'm already in the league. Let's queue up into the first match, and let me tell you a little bit about the deck. It's going to be in the Moxfield description, the Moxfield link in the description down below. Click on it, and you can take a look at the deck list, but let me have Bryant tell you a little bit more about Moxfield, one of our awesome sponsors of the channel. So, without further ado, here he is.
Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks.
Alrighty, here we are. We are paired up against Stryfo, and we won the die roll. So I'm assuming that this is going to be... By the way, we have Warhammer 40k on MTGO, and this is a very keepable hand. I'm going to keep this, and we're going to combo out on turn 2. But yeah, we have Warhammer 40k. If you want to hear a little bit about it, it was teased as a bit of a topic on the Eternal Glory podcast that we released this morning. And if you want, you can purchase them on MTGO, specifically in the Commander decks. There's some presumably issues with IP, intellectual property rights and things like that Daybreak Games is like doing its best to survive under as Wizards of the Coast, and the owners of Warhammer 40k, who I can't remember, duke it out to see who's gonna come out on top. But it turns out the players are, because we get to actually play with the cards now. That's who it is. Newton, is this one not weaker against blue than the traditional Mississippi? Kind of. However, we have like Throes of Chaos, which has Retrace, and this is a really good consistency enabler. So it's not bad, I think. We have a Ponder from our opponent. I didn't actually talk about it, but when I showed the deck list, I put it in card view so you can see how many lands this deck is actually playing. It is more than half lands alone. Okay, so this is an interesting point in the game where I think that I have to just cast this Throes of Chaos. But it is unfortunate that I'm just like losing a land because of it. Our opponent is, so I have cascaded into Tibalt's Trickery, and I'm going to choose to counter the Throes of Chaos, and I am going to cast Violent Outburst now, which is the card that I got with the Tibalt's Trickery. And Violent Outburst is going to cascade into another Tibalt's Trickery, which is going to counter the Violent Outburst, which is going to give me an Apex Devastator. I think that that's pretty good. Now, we have a fizzle rate. I could have Tibalt's Trickeried into a Tibalt's Trickery. It's just something that we have to worry about. Actually, we don't have to worry about it because it's out of our control. It is something that is in the deck, that it's built into it as a potential weakness that we are sacrificing because we want to be faster. If I let's see, I don't think that there's one. Okay, interesting. Yeah, maybe that's right, because the Carnosaur checks on resolution. So these two, like the Discover 5 is an ETB trigger, so the Carnosaur has to resolve. Interesting, but yes. Okay, so I'm going to assume that our opponent is on a fair blue pile, which makes sense, likely 4 colors. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to bring in the 2 trumpeting Carnosaurs here, which I would do along with potentially the Fury if I was concerned about Lavinia, for example, right? So I'm going to submit this deck and we're just going to go as is. And I just caught it 30 lands, so exactly half of the deck is lands. I'm going to 5-0, yeah, sure. Don't jinx it. It's not going to happen now. Okay, so I've got a Violent Outburst. The Emrakul is rotting in my hand, but I am going to keep this. Fury doesn't answer Lavinia. Oh, of course it doesn't. Yeah, because it doesn't have the non... I keep thinking Lavinia has the non-creature clause, and she doesn't, does she? Oh well. So our opponent is going to start off their turn, skipping their draw step, and survey says making a land drop. I'm not sure. And we actually do have the better options here for lands. These are the depletion lands that come in with counters. You want to play Tomb Go? I actually want to save the counter. Okay, I could see that, but I don't want to play Tomb. Here's the thing. I can't Violent Outburst with Ancient Tomb the way that I would want to. I think that I'm going to actually get my counter lands in instead. And I understand that this is like, it's fine. I can off of like a taiga. Oh, yes, the Mossfire Valley. That's why it exists. That's right. I'm missing the text on this card. I thought that it was just another taiga and just not recognizing that it's not. Yeah, Maddie, you got it. You and Bryant saw the writing on the wall, and I did not. That's okay. Okay, here we go. You know, Joe, whatever Stryfo is playing is Stryfo pile inherently, right? I think that that's just how it goes. League ruined. Bryant, yes, I am. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Okay, so I have a basic to search out, don't I? No, just the dual land. Okay, cool. That's fine. I can kind of go off on at instant speed. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I will play the Ancient Tomb, and I will recognize my mistake. Here we go. Yeah, Assassin's Trophy is not Beseiju. And oh, okay, a life from the loam. Interesting. Stryfo plays Euchre. He's got the Stryfo pile in hand. Yeah, absolutely. That's how that works. Okay, so I can just play this Mossfire Valley and pass the turn. That's all good. And then I can attempt to do something at my opponent's end step, or I can just see where things go. Yes, it does play around Force of Negation. And if our opponent taps out of it. Hardcast Force of Negation is still a strength of that card. I am also playing around something like a Drown in the Lock at the moment, which is another thing that Stryfo likes to play, another card in the pile, as it were. Okay, so this is so far Sultai, but I am interested to see if this is red for Dak Faden or white for St. Catherine. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out. You have one card. I know, I'm saying that Drown does not work. Yeah, it's totally fine. I'm playing around Drown in the Lock if I attempt. Yeah, in response to the draw, yes, I would agree. Yes, before the Uro draw. And let's see if we can go crazy, Maddie. Here's the Tibalt's Trickery. I'm going to hit the Violent Outburst and see what our opponent has with 6 cards in hand. They have a Force. Okay. That's fine. And they have the Drown in the Lock. Sure. Now my creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. And we're good to go on to our opponent's rest of their turn. Okay, Badlands, Bayou. What a lovely pile of cards. Okay, I'm gonna play the Dwarven Ruins as a land that can tap without sacrificing itself. There are pluses and minuses to the depletion lands and the sack lands. You know, I certainly can get to 15 mana. I have it in my hand. Whether... Oh, Eternal Witness. Wow. Okay. Yeah, TMK. As long as they don't hit a wasteland, then I think I'll be fine. But this Uro is going to clock me pretty quickly. And they've been dredging the Life from the Loam to hit those wastelands very quickly. So we'll see. Joe, you think I can do it on turn 8? Yeah. Oh, yeah, Maddie, this is Strife. This is a pile and a half, which we love, honestly. The way that he can win with anything is kind of impressive. So let's, we just got to keep going. And I have 3 more Violent Outbursts, 2 Throes of Chaos, and then 4 Creative Techniques. However many Throes of Chaos, it actually might be 4. I don't remember. Okay, they've gained some life and they took a regular draw instead of dredging. And here's a Fury. Okay, they have doubled their clock. I am dead right now unless I draw something this moment. That is 10 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I am so close. This is not going to cut it. I have lost this game and we're going to go to a game 3. So the match is tied 1-1. I don't think that I want any of this. Leyline of the Void is... Okay, I have some thoughts about the inclusion of Leyline and of the Void and Mindbreak Trap in a deck list like this, that is a Cascade deck. You can Tibalt's Trickery into a Leyline and then do nothing for the rest of the game. However, the need to stop Reanimator is important, and eventually you'll be able to concoct other ways to win, and you just have to have that Leyline because they're so disruptive and just like comboing too quickly. So I think that's why you see the Mindbreak Traps and the Leyline of the Voids, because you have to stop the decks that are quicker than you. Yeah, Joe, I'm working on it. 0 spells drawn. I get it. I should be better at this. And this is definitely not it. So I'm going to mulligan. We don't want the Tibalt's Trickeries in our hand. This one is actually really excellent. I have a lot of resiliency here. So with something like a City of Traders, Taiga Beseiju, I can just cast Throes of Chaos over and over and over again. So I'm going to keep this. I'll put back a redundant City of Traders. Yeah. I can't turn 2, but this is gonna be just fine. So what I'm gonna do, I think since I can't turn 2, I'm going to know that I turn 3 and just play the Taiga. So it could be Taiga, Beseiju, City of Traders. And I think that's just fine. Okay. So Funky Brewster, you trophied with this list, cascaded into Mindbreak Trap every post-board game. Yikes. Okay, that doesn't sound ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so this is going to still let me turn 3 and keep up my Beseiju. I'm going to play the Dwarven Ruins. I think that is a really nice draw. I'm not going to be playing around something like Daze out of this Bayou Badlands deck. I think that's not something that's in the pile. And we see red. We saw the Badlands before. So Dak Faden it is. And here is a Throes of Chaos. I gotta do it now, and then I can do it 3 more times currently. And here's a Violent Outburst. That Violent Outburst is gonna get the Tibalt's Trickery, and I'm going to counter the Violent Outburst and see what happens. This could be a Flusterstorm, this could be a Spell Pierce, this could be Force. Hydroblast works just fine. So now I can do this again in the future. That's kind of where we're going. We're just going to put Throes of Chaos on the stack until our opponent can't do anything. This Tibalt's Trickery was kind of a tough draw, though, because I can do it 1 less time than I wanted. Hey, there's the Dak Faden. And it's because I drew this Tibalt's Trickery. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to cast a Throes of Chaos. You can just cast it from hand on my own spell. Yes. So I could float mana here, play the Crystal Vein, and be able to do some of that. Yeah, I can actually hold up interaction. You are right. So what I can actually do is, what is the best way to do this? Sacrifice the Crystal Vein or sacrifice the Dwarven Ruin? Probably the Crystal Vein. They are functionally identical, except one of them allows me to tap for red. So let's do that. And Violent Outburst, here we go. Tibalt's Trickery, countering the Outburst. Colors are helpful in the future. And I hit a creative technique. I would like to cast it. Why can't I cast it? Oh, okay. I had a little bit of a delay on my computer. That was interesting. I think, here's the problem. I think I'm going to demonstrate here. At the very least, I'm going to demonstrate the first one. They got a ponder out of the deal, which is not bad, but it is not a force of will. So that's fine. We'll see what happens, Bryant, when it comes to the rest of the stack clearing. But yes, I can Tibalt's Trickery, the Throes of Chaos. And we didn't need to get there. We won the match. We beat Stryfo on his pile. Pretty good. The counterspell backup was kind of fun. They did shuffle the ponder. So they didn't see what they wanted on the ponder, and I had another creative technique coming off of the top rope as soon as these Cascade triggers resolved. So heck yeah, love that for us. And the dream is still alive. We're gonna just get ready. Bryant, thank you very much for your time in chat. Go work out and enjoy your bike ride, I'm assuming. And your time without us on your back, apparently. So, and here we are for round number 2. Freak 96. We lost the die roll. That's just unfortunate. TMK, Flusterstorm is probably the word that the card that you're thinking of. Yeah, it was fast in terms of, I don't know what you're talking about, Newton, whether you're talking about a fast pairing for the Legacy or a fast match 1, which, I mean, it also kind of was, which was nice. We are waiting for our opponent to begin the game, though. Have I gotten to play Helldivers 2? I have not. I have not played Helldivers 2, although I've been seeing a lot of like content creators that I follow playing it and talking all about it. Oh wow. One land hands are so rare in this deck. I can't do that. We're gonna mulligan this one. Nick, does Fluster even work with that? I can respond to the top demonstrated. It depends on the timing. I still had 2 mana up as well. We're gonna keep this one, and luckily we get to put 1 Tibalt's Trickery back. So yeah. Flusterstorm can interact favorably for the caster of the storm spell, depending, right? Bryce, yeah, it's kind of a, reanimate. Okay, so Grief pitching Exhume, and we're gonna have to see what flavor of reanimate, whether they're the Rakdos or the mono black. Exhume is not played in the Golgari reanimator deck that I played last week, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, luckily our hand is particularly good against discard, so that's nice. Oh, and they're playing my favorite APAC, or actually this is a Euro land. This is France Swamps. I think Camarog. I still can't pronounce it correctly. I should probably look that up. Okay, Apex Devastator was not it. However, we do get to throw Caution into the Wind and Throes of Chaos in our next turn. But also, yeah, Bryce, wine, bourbon, gin cocktails, kind of my thing. Newton, you have a friend that plays Maverick. He put a Mindbreak Trap just because he hates this deck. Yeah, Mindbreak Trap is fine against this deck. It is not as good as it used to be. So I am going to retrace, and I'm going to hit a Beseiju. They did nothing on their turn, which was great for us. And our Throes hit a Violent Outburst and a Tibalt's Trickery. And a Tibalt's Trickery, which in this case, this very specific case, does not fizzle because we have another spell to counter. So that's great. And we get an Emrakul off of the top. So I think that one's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. So I like that. So Tibalt's Trickery, you have to cast something that's a different name than the spell, which is why you can't Tibalt's Trickery into a Tibalt's Trickery. They kind of had a little bit of forethought and prepared for the brokenness that would be the card. Not that they did like super great, because it still was that it had several bans around the card when it was first released. So, you know, it's not everything. Very small stack, Newton, but good enough to win. So, Leyline, I think, is still fairly important here. And we're going to just see what happens as far as cards I'm going to take out. I think, let's see. So I think that Call Forth the Tempest is probably something I want to keep. So, like, let's get rid of the Trumpeting Carnosaurs, and I probably need all of my lands. Maybe I can shave a couple of, say, Hickory Woodlots. Maybe that's going to be the easiest ones to shave. I think that that's just fine. I don't know if that's... I mean, Beseiju has text against an Animate Dead. Maybe I want the speed, actually. I want the speed of Hickory Woodlot, and I can get rid of Beseijus. Yeah. So let's do that, and then bring in the ley lines. I think that that's just fine. Funky, we don't talk about the days when it was first printed. Yeah. I mean, Magic as Garfield Intended was definitely a combo format, right? We can all agree that Magic as Garfield Intended was combo-centric. This is an excellent hand. Very fun. Nick, you did research. It looks like if I demonstrate, there's a window to respond to all 3 copies. Yikes. Okay. I would assume so, but that makes sense to me. I'm going to keep this ley line out and see what our opponent is doing. Okay. I'm going to play a Sandstone Needle. Now, the creative technique is not super great right now because it certainly can get discarded. That is a little bit of a problem with this hand. However, so far, our opponent is not showing any signs of it being a problem that I have to deal with. Okay. So we've got to survive one more turn, and then we can put a creative technique on the stack. And I'm not going to demonstrate against the Reanimator opponent. I'm going to turn off my auto yields, though, just in case something goes wacky. Like if this is a show and tell, Dark Ritual. Ooh. Are we hard casting something? Okay, show and tell. I'm going to be able to put in my Mossfire Valley and have Beseiju available. Not that it really is gonna matter, But okay, so the show and tell sideboard package is a little less prevalent now. It's certainly gonna work for us against us though. I do have that new Discover a Soar, yes. Wino put in Apex. I mean, I guess I could have actually. I don't know why I didn't think about this. Was just like a dead card in my hand. I could have put in a giant 10/10. Yeah, there's a little bit of a disconnect in my brain why I didn't do that, honestly. Definitely could have had an Apex Devastator in hand. Oof. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Grief, putting the Apex Devastator in the graveyard. Okay, so I actually still have some time. But yeah, okay. I would have had a lot more time if I had a 10/10. They are potentially going to have an Apex. Now they cleared my hand, so... Okay, Archon of Cruelty, I'll put City of Traders away, I guess. And yeah, I really should have thought that through. Putting the Apex in would have saved me a lot of heartbreak. Okay, well, what I'm gonna do is right now get this Underground Sea, because I'm gonna discard this Boseiju anyway with the Archon trigger, and maybe I can get them off of blue, and I did. Apex would have been gone to Archon. Yeah, that's true. So I think that we're going to have a good time on the play, though. There's a chance there, you know. We are at 1, and as long as they can't put another Archon into play, we have the potential to put a lethal spell on the stack. We just got to see what happens. Could be anything. Even a lethal spell. Oh, they have an... Okay, there's the Archon. Okay, cool. They got to show and tell 3 times that game, which was wild. Okay. Do I want to discover 5? Discover is... do I have to... Is Discover timing restrictive? No, certainly not. So maybe I want the Trumpeting Carnosaurs because I can show and tell those in. Instead of the Call Forth the Tempests. Yeah, it's an ETB, but like I guess I can't remember Discover's text. But either way, let's just do that. I don't know if that's going to be a useful switch, but we'll try it out. And this is not a useful hand, that's for sure. So I'm going to mulligan this one. And this one is a very useful hand. So this is a turn 2 Violent Outburst or a turn 3 Throes of Chaos. And I'm going to keep the Emrakul in hand because I can show and tell the Emrakul. So I'm going to keep this, and I'm actually going to put back a Creative Technique. Is that right? I think so. Yeah. Discover seems better against show and tell. Yeah, absolutely. But now there are 4 show and tells against that we're facing, so I think that seems like a pretty decent idea. I think 4. I don't know. Okay, our opponent kept 5, and I'm going to just play out Mossfire Valley here. And if they turn one show and tell me, then oopsies. I mean, they could always put in an Archon or something like that. But you think that I should have? I can see that. If I had a ley line, I would have kept that. And if not, then I don't know. I can see that argument. Oh, that's even better. Now I don't lose the land. And I'm just going to do this now because I can still attack for lethal damage. Oh, they're okay. They don't care if me hitting a ley line is going to make or break the game. They are done, and we are doing well. We are 2-0 right now. I think I will not look a gift horse in the mouth. I will start looking for our round 3 opponent, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about one of our sponsors of the channel, Card Hoarder, where you can rent this deck. It's actually really inexpensive. Let me have Bryant tell you about it.
With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist.
All right, so here we are still waiting. Reanimator players seems to treat MTGO like a speedrun. Yeah, it definitely are. They are trying to speedrun the game, and it's kind of when Eric Landon was the trophy leader. He was running Reanimator because you could finish a league very quickly, and I think that just kind of solidified in people's minds that if you want to play quickly, then you play Reanimator and you can do well with it. In leagues. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But we're doing pretty all right. We're playing up against Control and Reanimator, and this is going relatively quickly. We're under an hour so far, actually under 45 minutes, and we've finished 2 matches, so I think it's pretty good. You know, so Newton, even if it was a non-deterministic combo, as long as I didn't fizzle by hitting another Tibalt's Trickery, here we go for round number 3. As long as I didn't fizzle by hitting another Tibalt's Trickery, the other option was me fizzling by hitting a Leyline of the Void, and I think that would have also been fine. So, I don't know. Yikes. So I have a creative technique, the mana to almost cast it. However, I don't actually have the mana to cast it yet, and I can either bank on drawing it eventually, or just taking a mulligan. I'm kind of tempted to keep this to see how we can lean on 50% of our draws, more than 50% of our draws now that our hand is like this, are lands. So I think I'm going to keep this. Yeah, Nick, they played a land and passed, so I don't know if I could speculate as to what their hand actually ended up being, but I could see an end of turn Entomb Reanimate. They were on a mulligan to 5. I'm not expecting a lot from the hand. So maybe they were just kind of, over it. Their hand didn't really do what they wanted to, so there they go. Speaking of Reanimator, I don't know. Bloodstained Mire, yep, okay, there's Grief Pitch Thoughtseize. Here we go again. Okay, what are they going to take? I have... Oh, that was the uncastable one, as a matter of fact. But they did take the one that was going to allow me to do this quicker. So here's an Entomb and presumably an Exhume or an Animate Dead. Okay, there we go. There's the Animate Dead. And 10 cards. They have Grief Black card, so they're going to get rid of the Creative Technique as well. Yikes. And this is, in fact... different. very different than what I was expecting. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but something weird, that's for sure. All right, so at the very least, I have a Tibalt's Trickery up. I don't think that I want to do that against our reanimate opponent, but I certainly can. Them hitting a Grizzlebrand off of my counterspell seems tough. Ancient Tomb, wow, they really are a bit different. So yeah, I'm gonna have to let this resolve. Can't do anything about it. And they got my creative technique. I think that we can almost call this done. That doesn't matter at all. But they're still only attacking for 9 next turn. So if I draw one of my Throes of Chaos or a land plus a creative technique, we still have game to play. I think that the sneak attack is wild. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but here we go. That's not going to do it, right? I mean, I still can draw a Throes of Chaos, so I'm gonna I'm going to play the Hickory Woodlot because that allows me to also draw a Violent Outburst. So we'll see what happens. But Throes of Chaos, Violent Outburst are my 2 draws. And there's 7 of them in the deck. Assuming that we don't die to Archon triggers or something like that. The Grief is not going to do anything. I don't have cards in my hand. I just have cards to discard. That's it. That's all that these cards are good for now. And we take 9. We fall to 5. And maybe draw a win. It's certainly a possibility. Nope. Okay. Well, we did play to our outs. It didn't end up happening, but at least we know how to sideboard. Although the sneak attack makes me think that they're not going to be playing the show and tell. So I think that the original plan to get rid of Trumpeting Carnosaurs is fine. And I can keep the call forth the Tempest, which could potentially remove creatures if I have to pass the turn. Like, I don't know. If I hit like Apex Devastator and call forth the Tempest and Maelstrom Wanderer, or not Maelstrom Wanderer, and I don't know, just those 2. Okay. Let's see what happens now. They are already pre-boarded against Graveyard Hate, which is interesting. And we've got some pretty good anti-discard action going on, so we're going to keep this one. And I'm going to lead on a Dwarven Ruins. I can't do anything on... oh, they mulligan to 5. That's nice. So I can't do anything on turn 2 unless I draw an Ancient Tomb. But that's fine. Turn 3 is going to have to be good enough. And this is going to be a Dwarven Ruins, Hickory Woodlot, Taiga, and I can Throes of Chaos twice so far. Now once. But that's all good. Now an Ancient Tomb would be really nice. Or another Throes of Chaos. Okay, that's fun. Let's just pass the turn. Can't actually cast this quite yet. But next turn, we're going to be able to and tell our opponent good luck. Thoughtseize. That's fine. You want to play this turn over again and discard the Throes of Chaos? I'm okay with that. Nope, Tibalt's Trickery. I wonder if they're going to try to go and do something this turn. This Tibalt's Trickery was counter magic, but doesn't look like it. That really would have been an emergency button if I felt the need to actually cast a Tibalt's Trickery. So luckily, not something that I needed to do, and now I can just cast Throes of Chaos right now. Violent Outburst. Now we are insulated from hitting a Tibalt's Trickery with our Tibalt's Trickery, which is great. So let's hit the Violent Outburst for this one, and there's a creative technique. I am not going to demonstrate this, and I'm just going to get the one, and it's a Maelstrom Wanderer. I think that we're good. Here's a Violent Outburst, and we get another Tibalt's Trickery, which is all kinds of fun. Tibalt's Trickery, the Throes of Chaos, because I kind of want my creatures to be big now. That's not going to happen. I hit another Trickery, so Violent Outburst it is. And now there's the Call Forth the Tempest, which is another couple of Cascades. Violent Outburst is not going to cascade into anything, but I will cast it so that I don't hit it again. We did just reveal our deck to our opponent, I guess, but that's fine. Throes of Chaos. I guess I could just say no, but I want to get rid of it because it's going to be problematic in the future, I think, if we're just like shuffling through our deck. So that's just fine. One more Cascade. There's a creative technique. Okay, I will take care of that. No demonstrate still. And we hit another Call Forth the Tempest. And we are going to be able to hit... Oh, Leyline of the Void. Okay. And if we hit another... Oh, another Leyline. Okay, that's fine. So we get a 7/5 and a couple of Leylines out of the deal, and then we can win the game with this, I guess. Unless we hit another creative technique. So this is a little bit of the fizzle rate. We had a lot of opportunities to hit more creative techniques, but it ended up not being in the cards. Yeah, Newton, that was a little bit of a sad Nas moment, but that's okay. Survey says animate dead. Apex Devastator. Yep. Pretty good. Okay. That's pretty all right as well. I have to just tap this, so here we go. Ooh. Creative technique. I'm not going to demonstrate this. I still think maybe I need to demonstrate this. Like, I'm losing now. I need to shift the game in my favor and have two options of this one. So that's fine. They had a sneak attack and they can't actually activate it. So that's fine. And I get two creative techniques, Apex Devastator of my own, and 4 Cascade triggers. Okay, I think it's fine. There we go. There we go. That was enough. I didn't even need to resolve the Cascade triggers. They're at 7. I had 2 creatures with haste. I think it was going to be okay. So, now that that's done, I got to win one on the draw. I still think that I want Leyline of the Void. We've seen the sneak attack. We recognize that they have ways to get around the graveyard hate, and we did fizzle a little bit. Didn't end up mattering. So I think I'm going to just submit this deck again. Yeah. Call that good. Oh, I look very red. The lighting is not very good. That's all right. You get to see a little bit of red, Jordan. I think well, this is part of the opposite problem where you just draw 7 lands in your opening hand. Okay. Well, we're going to take a mulligan. And I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to bottom the Tibalt's Trickery, and I get a turn 2 Violent Outburst. So I'm going to bottom the Trickery because we need to have that kind of ability. If we fizzle once, then we can keep going. So as many Tibalt's Trickeries in the deck as possible is good, but these are reanimatable targets. So we'll see what happens. There's a Grief. Bye-bye, Violent Outburst. Okay. Yep. There goes our turn 2 Dreams. Are they also going to reanimate Grief? Okay. Interesting that they didn't want a Maelstrom Wanderer or an Apex Devastator. I don't know if that's the right choice, but maybe they have another reanimate in their hand. So, of course. Okay, well, let's see what we do. I did learn how to draw Newton. That was pretty key to winning that game. Now let's see if we can clinch it. I need to draw really well again. We are just taking 3 so far. So that's not the worst in the world. I'm going to let my opponent know what I drew. I think that that's just fine. I mean, as long as we make land drops, we can cast an Apex Devastator. I don't know. I don't think it's not gonna come to that, but we could if we needed to. Thoughtseize, probably the Apex Devastator. Can't cast the Ley Line. Do you have an Animate Dead? Violent Outburst. Hey. Okay. So this is great because I don't actually have to sacrifice any of my lands to do this. And I get to Tibalt's Trickery here. And I got a Throes of Chaos. Okay, well, we're going up the stack. So Throes of Chaos is going to hit a Tibalt's Trickery or a Violent Outburst. I got the Trickery. And I got to call forth the Tempest. So I get a couple of Cascades and potentially clear the Grief. Okay, well, there's a Ley Line. A little bit more of the fizzle rate, but we got a creative technique. Okay, I do think that I need to demonstrate this. I'm a little bit further behind than I want to be. I get that there's a Throes of Chaos here, but the land that I have it. That's fine. I'm going to demonstrate this anyway. They get an Entomb. Really good now. I'm happy with this result and glad that I demonstrated. I got another creative technique. I'm not going to demonstrate this one. I think that that's enough. I get 2 of them now. Oh, another Ley Line. Okay. Well, here's an Apex Devastator. Okay. Now I think that we're done fizzling. So I'm going to Tibalt's Trickery, the Call Forth the Tempest. That's done. And I hit another creative technique. I did mill over Emrakul's, and I'm going to shuffle those all back in, which is an interesting thought. Like, we can just go on forever, technically, because we are shuffling everything back in. Wow. that is something that I had not realized before. I'm not demonstrating, but if I like mill over an Emrakul, then it shuffles all of my targets back in each time. So, okay, I have to Tibalt's Trickery the Apex Devastator here, which I think okay, so we fizzled pretty hard there, but yikes. Okay. We got to see what's happening here. Tibalt's Trickery, the last one in the deck. Got to call forth the Tempest. And we got to hit something good here. We did have a really bad string of fizzles, and we are going to continue to fizzle. Oh, we have another Tibalt's Trickery. What? I guess I was losing count when we were shuffling things back in. Okay, another Apex Devastator. Here we go. We are back on top. There's a Violent Outburst. I'll get it out of the deck. That should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, our opponent has conceded. Yay, they are done. That Violent Outburst was not going to do anything. We had 1, 2, 3 Violent Outbursts out of the deck. So there's one more Violent Outburst and then a couple more Throes of Chaos as bad hits. But with 6 additional Cascades, I think we were going to get there. So yeah, that is fantastic. We are undefeated 3-0. We have our guaranteed entrance back, plus a chest and a little bit of QPs. But we're going to keep going. This is great. We have learned how to draw Newton. This is you said it before, and I'll say it again for you. We learned how to draw. I'm not going to say that on stream, Newton. That's accurate. I agree. However, I feel like I don't want to see what the auto captioner does to that. No, thank you. So we're just going to wait until we find another opponent. Although I should probably tell you about our tokens. They're awesome. If you want to play in paper and you want to represent a stack or floating mana or storm or anything like that, goblin tokens, Ave Progenitor Ooze tokens, if you're still playing in 2020, then let me tell you about them, or have Bryant tell you about them.
Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy.
All right, we are back and we are paired into our fourth opponent of the evening. Hi, Michael. It is good to see you in chat. I saw a little bit of a spicy brew of yours actually recently. Oh, we'll keep this. This is fine. This is Dwarven Ruins Ancient Tomb City of Traders, and we can cast a creative technique with a Throes of Chaos kind of mixed in there. So we're going to keep this, but I wish I could put these Tibalt's Trickeries back. So that's fine. We'll live with it. All right. You got Smooshed playing against some pretty tough matchups, like a lands deck that played Lavinia and Chill. That's disgusting. With this pile of cards, that does not sound great. And our opponent, Urza Saga Lotus Petal, is this Riddlesmith. Okay. We're not going to have a great time. Storm is not a good matchup for this pile of cards. And it's gonna be a tough one, and especially Riddlesmith, which has a lot of Echo of Eons and things like that. Well, we've got the creative techniques to do it all. We're gonna be able to Throes of Chaos next turn. However, I don't actually know if it's gonna be fast enough, which is terrifying. They get to see a Tibalt's Trickery, which they know is a dead card in our hand now. I love that our opponent is playing Storm, but I don't think that we're going to win. Which is what I want to do. I want to win. They have a Walking Ballista kill. We know that that's the win. Okay. Good to know. I have seen a win condition, so I don't need to make them play it out or anything like that. Need to hit Emrakul the first technique? Absolutely. I am actually going to have to hit Throes right now because I can't creative technique. But yeah. Rikimaru, hey, how's it going? Thank you very much. I'm going to need all the luck I can get right now. What are these draws? These are incredible. So we're just going to Throes of Chaos, throw it into the wind, and see what sticks. We are able to combo quicker than our opponent, which is something that the old Mississippi River would never have been able to do, which is wild. Oh, they have forces. I did not expect that. They are playing a list that I honestly did not think was getting a lot of traction. I didn't think that it was actually very good, but Tony Scapone played it a couple of weeks ago on our channel, The Epic Storm, and it is a Riddler list that top 8'd a challenge or won a challenge or something like that, and it was a mono blue Riddlesmith that had forces. I was not expecting other people to have picked up the deck. However, I probably should have had that a little bit more on my radar. And there's a containment construct. Okay. I do believe that if our last... Okay, so yeah, they are able to do the thing here. They have 0 cards in hand. They can cast this Thoughtcast, which is a great hit. So now they have 2 cards, and now the Riddlesmith Containment Construct little combo is off to the races, and they hit a breakthrough. I think that I'm good to concede here. So like they hit 4 cards, and then they have to discard them, except if they don't, they get to exile them, and then they can play the card. So they're actually just drawing 4 cards, and they include another breakthrough, and they have 6 mana available that they don't discard these hands. It's a really cool combo. So I am dead. I am deceased. I know that the Walking Ballista is here, and I'm probably... I want to see an Echo of Eons, which is the card that I know that they play. I just need to see the Echo of Eons. To know that they can actually put the Walking Ballista back in the deck. There it is. Okay, I will concede. All right, so this is going to be, in fact... okay, here's the concern. It's either a Mindbreak Trap deck or a Leyline of the Void deck. And I can't tell. I also want these Trumpeting Carnosaurs, so it actually might be Mindbreak Trap and Trumpeting Carnosaur. I don't want all of them. I don't want to dilute my deck that much. However, this is an instant speed Bolt for 3 mana. I get it. But I think that this is going to be the pile that I want. Also, Boseiju might be worth it. I don't know. That's in the maybe pile. And then the ley lines, I'm going to say no to. And then I can get rid of the Call Forth the Tempests. And maybe... I'm looking at lands. I probably shouldn't be looking at lands. Maybe the Tinder Farms. Those are like the worst soul lands of the deck. And I just keep it with this and then say, nope, no Boseiju, which I realize I have mismatched Boseijus, but I own 2 of them and rented the other 2. Yikes. I really should have paid attention to that one. I think that that's the idea here. Yeah, let's do that. And I'm playing with Mindbreak Trap because we can force our opponent to wheel us and either counter the wheel or counter their ability to do anything in the future. Is that reasonable? I think that that's reasonable. Fury kills Riddlers and Constructs. Yeah, it's counterable, which is why I wanted the 4 Carnosaurs. I don't know if I want to be playing control against them. I've talked myself out of this. I want the ley lines. I want the hose. And I'm gonna do this, actually. Okay. I think that we changed up a little bit very quickly at the end, and Michael, you and I were on the same page where leyline is a little bit better. I would like to play first, and wow. Well, I wish I could mulligan and have one of these and not this. So if I could just put 2 cards back. I will keep this, though. Am I going to keep this? This is interesting. I have 3 mana, and I actually don't have an enabler. I was realizing that the Tibalt's Trickery is not the enabler that I was thinking it was. So we're going to mulligan this one. And this one is... I need another land, and I can do something. The creative technique is the ability to do it, or I need something that's green land. I will keep this and put back the Tibalt's Trickery. Okay, not exactly how I wanted to start it, but we do need to just find another land, and we thankfully have an untapped soul land to start this all off. So we need 1 draw step to rule them all if I want to combo on turn 3. But our opponent, starting off Ancient Tomb Chromox, might be comboing on turn 1. I don't know. Well, they're certainly getting their hand out of there. What is this? Yikes. ETBs draw a card, no maximum hand size. They have an Echo. What is this? Beginning of combat, if you've drawn more than 1 card, put a X +1/+1 counters on target creature. Or X is the number of cards you've drawn -1. Well, that combos really well with Walking Ballista. And just as a way to put a 10/9 on the battlefield. Holy crap. I do get to combo. They wheeled me into the ability to put an Ancient Tomb and a Throes of Chaos on the battlefield, but they have 7 cards in hand, and I cannot currently beat a piece of counter magic. So, is this the end of the road, folks? I hope not. Okay, so this has to be no force of will. They have to have no force of will for this to work. And it looks like there's a pause. This looks like a pause. They're floating mana? What is this? Is this a fluster? A Hydroblast? No! Oh, man. That's pretty brutal. Is there anything that I can draw here to not die? Nope, because this is I had a Dwarven Ruins, not a Sandstone Needle, so I can't even refire it next turn. I don't know what I can draw. A Beseiju, I guess, to get rid of the Containment Construct. Well, they don't have another wheel, at least, which is good. Yeah, it needs to be a Beseiju so that I can destroy the Containment Construct and survive to refire the Throes of Chaos. And that's not it, folks. Wow. We have lost the game. That was... I mean, I gotta say, that was pretty impressive from our opponent. I love watching Riddlesmith do well at the hands of a competent pilot. I hate watching Riddlesmith do poorly at the hands of an incompetent pilot. One of the worst experiences I've ever had was going to time against a Riddlesmith opponent. It is not great. But this didn't happen. That didn't happen. So here we go. We got O2'd. It was really quick and simple and painless. So yeah, Durandal, dang, indeed. That's okay. We're just going to 4-1 this league, right? And it'll all be fine. Here we go. We are starting it out for the last round of the league. We won the die roll. That's nice. And we're going to see what happens. Oh, you have this in paper. You hate running into Lavinia Durandal. Yeah, that makes sense. I would not want to do that either. We've got a mulligan this, but our opponent revealed a Yorion. I still can't tell if this is going to be control or... Oh, we're going to keep this. We're going to get rid of this Call Forth the Tempest. I don't know if this is going to be control or death and taxes. I'm not sure where the needle points anymore. Whether one or the other is more likely. But we're just gonna make our land drop and likely still be playing against Wasteland one way or another. Caracas. I still don't know. Oh, okay. It's death and taxes. Okay, cool. That answered the question. And we are going to be able to just put a Throes of Chaos on the stack right now, which is really convenient. And let's see what ends up happening. Throes of Chaos and a Violent Outburst. Okay, that's really good because now we are less likely to fizzle. We have one piece of fizzle protection. Oh, but we hit an Apex Devastator. How about that for fizzle protection? Sit on down. Okay. Yeah, we got there. Very, very nice. I love these Furies and the Trumpeting Carnosaur. Ingot Chewer is really mostly for something like Chalice of the Void on 2. I would imagine. So that's fine. You do like that it goes faster, pick the new cards up that we're running. Yes, absolutely. This is a much faster build, which is excellent. Okay, Call Forth the Tempest might be good. Beseju, I don't know. Maybe Call Forth the Tempest is not worth it. Yeah, Pauper sideboard. Yeah, I know the Ingot Chewers of the world. Okay, here, and then what can I do? I want to shave something. Maybe, honestly, hitting an Emrakul early is not worth it because they are a Swords to Plowshares deck and a Solitude deck. And just like creative technique into an Emrakul means that we're done, right? They can just answer the Emrakul, and then we're stuck twiddling our thumbs until the next ability to combo off. Is this the reason I'm doing this? Yes. Is it a good reason? Your guess is as good as mine, guys. I don't know. But we're going to try it. We're going to try it out, and we're going to 4-1 this league. This is going to be great. I don't think that I need to worry about Chalice of the Void from an opponent. Oh, this is so close. Okay. I'm going to mulligan this because even though I have the Trumpeting Carnosaur, I would need another land to be able to do that without sacrificing the Crystal Vein. Not the best of hands. Like, it's so close. I mean, I needed another land for this anyway. Is this fine? Like, they can have a Thalia on turn 2. The Trumpeting Carnosaur deals with it in the end step. And then I get to untap and Throes or Violent Outburst. Is this fine? I don't know. You guys tell me. Would you keep this hand? Yes or no? recognizing that I need to draw another land to win. I don't know. Also, Sebastian, I should Tibalt the Throes of Chaos instead of the Violent Outburst. The +1 attack might do the difference. Oh, you know what, Sebastian? Yeah, you are right. And then Brian seems to think that there are better 6s. I think that actually might be reasonable. Giovanni, though, thinks that we should keep this hand. Okay, so here's my cat just broke something. Shit. Okay. I'll deal with that after this. I'm going to keep this because I want to see how far we can push this deck. And Sambo thinks that we should keep this one as well. So we're going to go with this one. And there's a wasteland. That's kind of tough. That is a problem with my I need to draw lands strategy. No, I see what was broken. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But this is a big deal. Can we beat Wasteland Aether Vial? The mana denial strategy of Death and Taxes is certainly something to consider. I don't know. Prismatic Vista. Oh my gosh, they're Orzhov. Big surprise. Now, I threw out the land that taps for 1. If they are baited into a 1-for-1 here with the Wasteland, I think that I'm fairly okay with that. They might even just cast a 2-drop. There's a Thalia. Okay. Ancient Tomb. Taiga. Okay. That's okay. Now, if they want to, they can not wasteland me and deploy a 3-drop, and I can... okay, they didn't have a Mother of Runes. That's great. They can deploy a 3-drop, and then I can Trumpeting Carnosaur the Thalia and figure out the rest of it from then on out. I don't know. We're going to play it out. Upkeep. Oh. Okay. There's a land. And I'm going to just keep passing the turn. I can deal with this Thalia, and I have enough lands to Trumpeting Carnosaur. No, they've been missing their land drops, so maybe they don't think that wastelanding me is valuable at this stage. Now they want to. So I'm going to sacrifice this and see what they do. I have this Trumpeting Carnosaur, and I am going to use it. Get rid of this Thalia. Ooh, is this a Flicker Wisp? Do they actually have the Flicker Wisp? They do. Okay, I totally could have played around it by doing this on my own turn. But I wanted to wait until they wastelanded me. But maybe that was just wrong. Okay, well, we can still do this. We can just play enough lands to overcome the Thalia tax anyway. We can just plan for a certain number of taxes. And every land that we make, every land drop that we make is just 1 or 2 extra spells that we can cast through Thalia, especially with a relatively anemic clock. Okay, so at this stage, I can pay for 1, 2, 3 spells. I don't think that I want to make that decision quite yet because I can still do it at instant speed. non-creature spells, I should say. But that still includes Throes of Chaos, Creative Techniques, the Tibalt's Trickery. So I think that next turn I'm going to attempt to combo off through the Thalia. I mean, I don't even need to. Our opponent is certainly representing a Mindbreak Trap. Like, they kept this hand for a reason. And Mindbreak Trap certainly makes the most sense. We'll have to see. Oh. Okay then. How about my free creature through Thalia? How about a free creature through Thalia? Yeah. How about that? And a board wipe, by the way. I mean, even if they just Flicker Wisp here, then the Thalia is gone. Oh, it's not. Okay. Well, how about that? Yeah, you... Oh my gosh, I can Violent Outburst and Throes of Chaos this turn. Let's start off with the Violent Outburst. Or should it be the Throes of Chaos? It should probably be the Throes of Chaos, because that is a little bit more protective. Yeah, Giovanni, that was a fantastic draw. That was an amazing draw. Okay, Tibalt's Trickery. So I didn't get a Violent Outburst out of that, but I got a Violent Outburst out of this one, which is good. So another Trickery. And this one gets an Apex Devastator. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Okay, well, I've got to hit the Apex Devastator here with the Tibalt's Trickery, but I get a Maelstrom Wanderer out of the deal. So another couple of Cascaders and a big body. Violent Outburst is not going to hit anything, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 Tibalt's Trickery, so it's just going to make my non-existent creatures that much bigger. Okay. I think that this is still fine. I can still actually cast the Violent Outburst. Trumpeting Carnosaur. That's good. And I get a Creative Technique. I am not going to demonstrate this. I don't want them hitting something that would ruin my day. A Fury would ruin nobody's day except for theirs. I love this because now I have a hasty Fury and a hasty Trumpeting Carnosaur and a hasty Maelstrom Wanderer, and we absolutely 4-1 this league. That was really incredible. So, no Mindbreak Trap. I wasn't going to say it, Giovanni. Thank you for saying it afterwards, after the fact. I was actively avoiding saying it. I wasn't even hinting at a Mindbreak Trap because I didn't want that to be a thing. Brian, that was a very good draw. So heads was definitely landed, and we have definitely kept the right hand. So I think that we're going to be fine. And we're going to open these 5 chests that we got. No St. Catherine's in these bad boys, but there could be something good. And then we can do a little bit of a deck breakdown. Maybe. Okay, Aladdin's Ring, super fun. Hinata, there's nothing in here. There's nothing in here that's good, other than 40 play points. Yay. Okay, totally worth it. That was a great league. I had a lot of fun with that one. Asambo Creative Technique is like when you're playing the demo mini game in Mario Party. Yeah, it's just kind of like I'm gonna start something and then it's just gonna go. It's just gonna cascade into everything. So that's fun. They can't even trap me with their own Thalia out, Lucas. Yeah, that's true. They wouldn't have the mana to do that if they had a Thalia out. That's good. Also, I'm so glad that Fury is a lot less expensive. Like, I haven't picked up mine. Well, I have them, but I have not picked up cheap copies, that's for sure. I picked them up when they were more expensive. I will buy the 4X St. Cathy deck, and then probably one or two of the Chaos Defiler version as well, which I'm going to do that first because I want to play Painter, and I want to do that next week in the poll. But let's talk about Mississippi River. This update is, I think, the best thing to happen to the deck since it was created. The ability to fizzle is a lot greater. We certainly saw that, although it was never actually game breaking. We won through several fizzles, which was interesting. But I mean, this is so much better and so much faster at winning the game than, oh, I'm going to combo off on turn 3, or, oh, I'm going to actually no combo off on turn 4 because my land drops didn't actually make sense. So I think that this is a much, much better pile of cards for playing in a competitive environment. I don't know about the sideboard, man. I like Ingot Chewer. I'm sure that we could figure something else that's better than Ingot Chewer. The 4th Beseju, maybe that's a useful thing, maybe not. I have no idea. But the main deck seems great. I really, really liked playing this. I mean, honestly, I'm just pressing a button and it's doing it for me, right? So there's only so much fun that you can have with this pile of cards, but when it goes off, it is super fun to do. So without any further ado, I'm going to let you have the rest of your Thursday evening to yourselves or your significant others or the people that you care about, and maybe you watch something else with them that is from the Epic Storm. I hope that I will see you again next week. Make sure to engage in the poll to vote for what you want to see me play, like the Muppet that I am. I will see you guys later on. Have a good night.